What happens when a life filled with glamour, ambition, and reinvention comes to an end? For Ivana Trump, the answer unfolded in a way no one could have predicted. Her passing in July 2022 shocked the world, not only for the suddenness of it, but for the life she left behind. A story woven with dramatic highs, personal triumphs, and public scrutiny. As family and friends gathered for her funeral, a moment meant for solemnity and reflection, a single unexpected guest turned heads and sparked conversations. How did Ivana transform from a small-town girl in Czechoslovakia into a global icon of resilience and glamour? What role did she play in shaping the Trump legacy? And what truths lay behind her highly publicized relationships? And most intriguingly, who was the one guest at her funeral that no one expected to see? Let's delve into the extraordinary life and legacy of Ivana Trump to uncover the answers. The morning of July 14, 2022 began like any other in Ivana Trump's life. Inside her opulent New York townhouse, every corner seemed to echo her past triumphs. Yet, beneath the grandeur, she led a quiet, increasingly isolated life, a stark contrast to the vibrant socialite the world once knew. That day, tragedy struck. Ivana was found at the base of her staircase, her life abruptly cut short by a fatal fall. The news sent shockwaves through her family, friends, and admirers. It wasn't just the manner of her death that gripped the public, it was the loss of a woman whose name had been synonymous with glamour, ambition, and reinvention. As plans for her funeral unfolded, those close to her prepared for a farewell befitting her larger-than-life persona. On July 20, 2022, St. Vincent Ferrer Roman Catholic Church became the site of her final send-off. Among the guests were her children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, each stepping forward to honor their mother's indomitable spirit. Former First Lady Melania Trump and her son Barron also paid their respects, blending into a sea of mourners that included high society's elite. Yet, amidst the anticipated faces, one guest stood out, a figure whose presence turned heads and sparked murmurs. To understand the weight of this moment, one must first delve into Ivana Trump's extraordinary life. Born Ivana Marie Zelničková on February 20, 1949 in Gottwaldov, Czechoslovakia, her beginnings were far removed from the opulence she later embodied. The small industrial town, nestled in the heart of post-war Eastern Europe, shaped her character with its blend of warmth and austerity. Her father, Miloš, an electrical engineer, instilled in her a deep respect for hard work, while her mother, Marie, balanced her role as a telephone operator with raising their spirited daughter. Even as a child, Ivana's talents set her apart. By the age of 4, she was navigating the slopes with an ease that left adults in awe. Her father, recognizing her potential, became her first coach. Skiing wasn't merely a sport for Ivana, it was an escape, a way to dream beyond the confines of her town and the iron borders of Czechoslovakia. By her teenage years, she had secured a spot on the junior national ski team, earning her rare opportunities to travel outside the restrictive regime. Education was another avenue where Ivana excelled. Determined to secure a future beyond the limitations imposed by her country, she enrolled at Charles University in Prague. There she pursued a degree in physical education, graduating in 1972 with a master's that blended academic rigor with her love for sports. However, Ivana's ambitions were never confined to textbooks or even the slopes. In 1970, she made a brief but memorable appearance on the children's television series Pan Tau, a glimpse of her natural charm and poise in front of a camera. Still, life under Soviet rule was suffocating. For Ivana, freedom came with a calculated decision. In 1971, she married Alfred Winkelmeyer, an Austrian ski instructor. Their union wasn't born of love but strategy. Through him, she gained Austrian citizenship, a passport to the wider world. Her escape from Czechoslovakia was not a defection, but a carefully planned transition that allowed her to visit her family without repercussions. By 1972, the marriage was over, and Ivana found herself in Canada, ready to start anew. Montreal became the stage for her reinvention. Here, Ivana juggled multiple roles: a ski instructor, a model, and a student determined to master English. The bustling city offered a stark contrast to her quiet hometown, and Ivana embraced it with characteristic determination. She worked tirelessly, appearing in advertisements and runway shows, and even landed a modeling assignment for the 1976 Summer Olympics. Her personal life was equally eventful. A relationship with playwright George Siravatka ended in heartbreak after his untimely death in a car accident. But Ivana's resilience shone through. Despite the challenges, Montreal became a proving ground for the ambitious young woman. It was here, amid the city's snow-covered streets and fashion boutiques, that she began to refine the confidence and poise that would later make her iconic. Yet, Canada was just the beginning. By 1976, Ivana found herself in New York City, a place that would change the trajectory of her life forever. It was during a modeling assignment that she crossed paths with Donald Trump, a brash and ambitious real estate developer. Their meeting would mark the beginning of a relationship that was equal parts partnership and spectacle. By the mid-1970s, Ivana's life was transforming in ways she couldn't have imagined back in Czechoslovakia. After establishing herself in Montreal, she embraced a world of possibilities beyond the slopes and classrooms. Modeling wasn't her first passion, but it became a gateway to opportunity. Her elegance, athletic build, and striking features made her a standout in the fashion world. She became a regular face for prominent clients, including Eaton's department store, and graced advertisements that blended her European sophistication with a North American appeal. However, life in Montreal wasn't just about glamour. Ivana was determined to solidify her presence in a country that was still foreign to her. She took night classes at McGill University to master English, often juggling her studies with ski instruction and modeling gigs. Her work ethic impressed everyone around her, revealing the drive that had been instilled in her since childhood. Her personal life in Canada was equally eventful. Ivana had begun a relationship with George Siravatka, a man she had known since her teenage years in Czechoslovakia. George had defected to Canada years earlier and owned a successful ski boutique in Montreal. Their relationship brought her a sense of familiarity amidst her whirlwind life in a new country. However, her world was shaken when George tragically passed away in a car accident in 1973. The loss left Ivana grieving, but as always, she pressed forward with resilience. In 1976, destiny called her to New York City, a place that would become synonymous with her name. She had been selected for a modeling assignment to promote the Montreal Olympics. The trip was supposed to be brief, a professional stopover, but it turned into a pivotal chapter in her life. It was during this assignment that Ivana met Donald Trump, a young real estate developer who was making waves in Manhattan with his bold ambitions and brash personality. Their first meeting was far from the romanticized stories that later emerged. Ivana, still mourning George and deeply committed to her independence, wasn't immediately captivated by Donald's charm. However, Donald was known for his persistence. Over the coming weeks and months, he pursued her with relentless determination, using grand gestures that matched his larger-than-life personality. From sending her dozens of roses to attending her runway shows unannounced, Donald made it clear that he wasn't taking no for an answer. By Christmas of that year, Donald had won her over. The two spent the holiday season together in Aspen, a fitting setting for a woman whose life had been shaped by skiing. On New Year's Eve, under the glow of a snowy sky, Donald made his intentions clear. With his characteristic confidence, he told her, "If you don't marry me, you'll ruin your life." Ivana, caught in the romance of the moment, agreed. The couple married on April 7, 1977, in a lavish ceremony at the Marble Collegiate Church in New York City. The wedding was the talk of the town, a glamorous union of two ambitious personalities. For Ivana, this was not just a marriage, it was the beginning of a partnership that would redefine her life. Donald recognized her intelligence and work ethic, and he didn't hesitate to bring her into his growing empire. Ivana's first major project within the Trump organization was overseeing the renovation of the Commodore Hotel, which was being transformed into the Grand Hyatt Hotel. Donald relied heavily on her eye for design and her ability to execute projects with precision. Ivana's influence didn't stop at design. She became a trusted advisor in many of Donald's business ventures, earning her a reputation as a savvy and capable partner. The birth of their children, Donald Jr. in 1977, Ivanka in 1981, and Eric in 1984 marked a new phase in their lives. Ivana balanced her roles as a mother and a businesswoman with remarkable skill. She was deeply involved in her children's upbringing, instilling in them the same values of discipline and ambition that had guided her life. However, the pressure of their high-profile lives began to take its toll. By the late 1980s, cracks were starting to show in their seemingly perfect union. The constant media scrutiny, coupled with Donald's relentless ambition, created tensions that were hard to ignore. Yet, for a time, the couple managed to maintain a united front, both for the sake of their children and their public image. Behind the scenes, Ivana's contributions to the Trump empire were undeniable. She had become the president of the Plaza Hotel, where her leadership transformed the property into one of New York's most iconic landmarks. Ivana wasn't just a figurehead, she was hands-on, overseeing operations, and ensuring that the hotel exuded the luxury and elegance that had become synonymous with the Trump brand. Despite her success, Ivana's personal life was growing increasingly complicated. The holiday season of 1989 would become a turning point. While vacationing in Aspen, Ivana confronted Donald about his affair with Marla Maples, a moment that played out publicly and sensationally. The confrontation was a breaking point in their marriage, and the couple began to drift apart. The unraveling of their relationship was made even more painful by the media frenzy that surrounded their divorce. Every detail was scrutinized, from Ivana's accusations of infidelity to the legal battles over their prenuptial agreement. For Ivana, the divorce wasn't just an end to her marriage, it was a public dismantling of the life she had built with Donald. The divorce between Ivana and Donald Trump, finalized in 1992, was one of the most publicized and contentious of its time. Ivana emerged from the ordeal not as a victim, but as a woman determined to reclaim her identity. She walked away with a substantial settlement, including $14 million, the family's Connecticut mansion, and a share in other assets. Yet, it wasn't the money that defined her next chapter. It was her unyielding spirit of reinvention. Ivana wasted no time stepping out of the shadows of her ex-husband's empire. She embraced her independence with the same energy that had propelled her from her small-town beginnings to the heights of New York society. Leveraging her public image and business acumen, she launched her own clothing and jewelry lines, catering to women who admired her elegance and confidence. Her entrepreneurial ventures didn't stop there. She authored books including the semi-autobiographical The Best Is Yet to Come, offering a glimpse into her resilience and ability to rebuild after setbacks. Her social calendar remained as glittering as ever. Despite the very public fallout from her marriage, Ivana maintained her place in high society. She was frequently photographed at charity events, fashion shows, and exclusive gatherings, often accompanied by a string of high-profile suitors. Among them was Riccardo Mazzucchelli, an Italian entrepreneur known for his charm and flamboyance. Their whirlwind romance culminated in marriage in 1995, a union that promised a fresh start, but proved short-lived. Within 2 years, the couple had divorced, embroiled in legal disputes that underscored the difficulties of finding stability amidst glamour. Still, Ivana's resilience never wavered. By the late 1990s, she had found companionship with Count Raffaello Gaetani, an Italian aristocrat whose old-world charm and sophistication matched her own. Their relationship, though unconventional, brought a level of mutual respect and affection that had been absent in her previous marriages. The Count was a partner who celebrated Ivana's independence and strength, qualities that had sometimes been overshadowed in her previous relationships. Tragically, their love story was cut short in 2005 when Gaetani died in a car accident, leaving Ivana to once again navigate the complexities of loss. Her later years were marked by yet another significant relationship, this time with Rossano Rubicondi, an Italian actor and entrepreneur. Their romance, which began in the early 2000s, was a departure from her previous relationships in terms of age and lifestyle. Rossano, more than 20 years her junior, brought a youthful energy into Ivana's life. The couple's 2008 wedding, held at Mar-a-Lago, was a spectacle of opulence, attended by close friends and family, including Donald Trump and their children. Despite the lavish ceremony, the marriage faced challenges almost immediately, with the couple separating within a year. Still, Ivana and Rossano maintained an on-again, off-again relationship that spanned over a decade. They were often seen together at events, and their chemistry remained evident even after they officially parted ways. In 2019, they announced the end of their romantic relationship for good, citing the difficulties of long-distance commitments. Despite the breakup, their bond persisted in friendship, a connection that endured until Rossano's untimely death in 2021 at the age of 49. His passing was yet another blow to Ivana, who had already faced so many losses in her life. Throughout these years, Ivana continued to cultivate her public persona as a woman of elegance and resilience. She became a fixture on talk shows, sharing her views on life, relationships, and success with an air of authority that only someone with her life experiences could exude. She often spoke candidly about her children, expressing pride in their accomplishments and emphasizing the values she had instilled in them. By the 2010s, however, Ivana began to step away from the spotlight. Health issues, exacerbated by years of skiing and an active lifestyle, began to slow her down. Her hip pain became a persistent challenge, limiting her mobility and curbing her once busy social calendar. The onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 further isolated her. Fearful of the virus, Ivana chose to remain within the confines of her townhouse, a place that had once been a hub of activity but now became a quiet sanctuary. The townhouse, a symbol of her success and independence, held countless memories of her extraordinary life. Friends recalled how Ivana would spend hours reminiscing about her travels, her triumphs, and the people who had shaped her journey. Yet there was an undeniable sense of loneliness that accompanied her retreat from the world. The loss of Rossano and the physical limitations imposed by her health created a reality that even Ivana's indomitable spirit couldn't entirely overcome. As the world adjusted to the seismic shifts brought on by the pandemic, Ivana Trump's life settled into a quieter rhythm. The bustling socialite who once commanded attention at charity galas and society dinners now rarely ventured beyond her beloved townhouse. The years had taken their toll on her body, particularly her hip, a lingering reminder of her adventurous skiing days. While she remained connected to her children and a close circle of friends, the isolation brought about by her health and fear of COVID-19 marked a significant shift in her lifestyle. Inside her Upper East Side home, Ivana found solace in familiarity. The townhouse, filled with lavish decor and mementos from her globe-trotting adventures, was a sanctuary that reflected her personality. Friends and family who visited often commented on her storytelling as she recounted tales of her childhood in Czechoslovakia, her days as a model, and the whirlwind romance that had propelled her into the Trump dynasty. Yet beneath these lively anecdotes was an undercurrent of loss, a quiet acknowledgement of the loved ones she had outlived and the vibrant world she had once thrived in. One of the most profound losses in recent years was that of Rossano Rubicondi, her on-again, off-again partner whose presence had been a source of joy and companionship. Rossano's death in 2021 at the age of 49 was sudden and deeply unsettling for Ivana. Although their romantic relationship had ended, their bond had remained strong. Friends noted how his passing left a void in her life, one that compounded the emotional weight she carried from earlier losses. Despite the challenges, Ivana's tenacity shone through in small but significant ways. She continued to take pride in her children, each of whom had carved out their own paths in the world. Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric were not only her greatest achievements, but also her closest confidants. She often spoke of their successes with maternal pride, emphasizing the values she had instilled in them: discipline, ambition, and an unyielding drive to succeed. Her relationship with her children, however, wasn't without its complexities. While she remained a strong presence in their lives, her candid nature occasionally led to tensions. Ivana's opinions, especially on family dynamics, were rarely sugar-coated. She was known to speak her mind, even when her views weren't entirely welcomed. Yet, it was this very honesty that her children respected, a testament to the strength of their bond. The final years of Ivana's life were marked by reflection, not regret. She had lived through dramatic highs and lows, from building a family dynasty to enduring public scandals. Each chapter of her life had been a lesson, and she wore her experiences like a badge of honor. In interviews, she often described herself as a survivor, a woman who had faced adversity head-on and emerged stronger every time. But as resilient as she was, there were moments of vulnerability. Close friends noticed how the isolation began to weigh on her, particularly during the long stretches of lockdown. The absence of her usual social interactions, coupled with the physical limitations imposed by her health, left her yearning for the lively gatherings she once hosted. While she maintained a dignified exterior, those closest to her saw glimpses of the loneliness she kept hidden from the world. On July 14, 2022, tragedy struck. Ivana's townhouse, her cherished retreat, became the site of her final moments. A fall down the steep staircase, a feature that had concerned friends for years, proved fatal. The news of her death sent shockwaves across the world. Tributes poured in from every corner, celebrating the life of a woman who had defied the odds and left an indelible mark on everyone she encountered. In the days following her passing, her family began preparing for a farewell that would honor her legacy. The funeral, held on July 20, 2022 at St. Vincent Ferrer Roman Catholic Church in Manhattan, was a grand affair, attended by close family and a select group of friends. The church, adorned with floral arrangements and a quiet reverence, became a space where those who knew her best could reflect on her life. Her 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, each delivered heartfelt eulogies, sharing stories of their mother's strength, wit, and unwavering love. Former President Donald Trump, accompanied by Melania Trump and their son Barron, was also present, paying his respects to the woman who had once been his partner in life and business. Yet, amidst the expected faces, one guest stood out, a presence that no one had anticipated. Vanessa Trump, the ex-wife of Donald Jr., quietly entered the church, her appearance drawing whispers from the gathered mourners. Vanessa's attendance was unexpected given the history between her and the Trump family. Her marriage to Donald Jr. had ended in a highly publicized divorce, and she had since stepped away from the spotlight. The sight of Vanessa, offering comfort to her children and quietly paying her respects, was a reminder of the intricate web of relationships Ivana had navigated throughout her life. It underscored the enduring influence she had on those around her, even in death. For Vanessa, the decision to attend the funeral was likely driven by a sense of respect for Ivana as the grandmother of her children and for the legacy she had left behind. As the funeral service progressed, the atmosphere inside St. Vincent Ferrer Roman Catholic Church became one of quiet reflection. Guests sat in solemn rows, each lost in their thoughts about the woman they had gathered to honor. Ivana Trump had been a figure of resilience and reinvention, a woman whose life had been a tapestry of triumphs and trials. As her children spoke of their mother's legacy, the moments of laughter and tears revealed the depth of the bond they shared with her. Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric took turns sharing personal anecdotes, painting a picture of a mother who was both nurturing and demanding. Ivana's insistence on discipline and hard work had left an indelible mark on her children. Ivanka, in particular, spoke of how her mother's strength inspired her own approach to life, highlighting moments when Ivana's unwavering support helped her navigate challenges. Eric, often regarded as the most private of the siblings, shared a heartfelt story about how his mother taught him to embrace failure as a stepping stone to success. Even in death, Ivana's presence was undeniable. The floral arrangements, the carefully chosen readings, and the selection of hymns all reflected her love of beauty and sophistication. Friends and family who attended couldn't help but feel the weight of her influence. From her days as a Czech skier to her reign as a New York socialite, Ivana had lived a life few could emulate, but many admired. Among those present, Vanessa Trump's quiet attendance remained a focal point. Her presence was a testament to the complex relationships Ivana had nurtured throughout her life. Vanessa had always been respectful of Ivana's role as the matriarch of the family, even after her own relationship with Donald Jr. ended. For Vanessa, the funeral was not only a chance to honor Ivana, but also an opportunity to show solidarity with her children, who had lost their beloved grandmother. The service ended with a moment of silence, a collective pause that allowed everyone to say their final goodbyes. As the pallbearers carried Ivana's casket out of the church, the crowd followed in a quiet procession. The burial, held at a private family plot on the Trump National Golf Club property in Bedminster, New Jersey, was an intimate affair. Here, amidst rolling green hills, Ivana was laid to rest, her legacy intertwined with the family she had built and the empire she had helped shape. In the weeks that followed, the world continued to reflect on Ivana Trump's extraordinary life. Media outlets revisited her most iconic moments: her bold escape from Czechoslovakia, her glamorous rise in New York, and her enduring influence on her children. Interviews with friends and colleagues painted a picture of a woman who was both fiercely independent and deeply loyal to those she loved. For her children, life without their mother was an adjustment. Ivanka often spoke publicly about her mother's lessons, emphasizing the importance of resilience and adaptability, traits Ivana embodied throughout her life. Donald Jr. and Eric found ways to honor their mother privately, ensuring that her memory remained a guiding force in their lives. The unexpected guest at her funeral, Vanessa Trump, symbolized something larger than the moment itself. Her presence underscored the enduring connections Ivana had fostered, even in the face of challenges. Family dynamics, complicated as they were, seemed secondary to the respect and admiration Ivana commanded. Ivana Trump's legacy extends beyond her role in the Trump family. She remains an emblem of reinvention, a woman who built a life of success and influence through sheer determination. Her journey from a small town in Czechoslovakia to the heights of New York society serves as a testament to the power of ambition and perseverance. Even in her final moments, the echoes of her life continued to inspire and intrigue those who knew her and those who admired her from afar. As those closest to her move forward, they carry with them the lessons and memories she left behind. For Ivana Trump, life was never just about surviving. It was about thriving, no matter the circumstances. Her story, like her presence, remains unforgettable. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.